Hello everyone, today I'm going to make a video on GoWiHog strategy. This is still my most favorite strategy to use in war raids against Town Hall Night bases. Even though nowadays the trend seems to be more favorable towards air raids. But today I'm actually very excited to show you this video because for those of you who know, I actually have been also exploring a lot in terms of war in air raids and stuff. And then because of that, I actually got inspired to try something that I'm about to show you. And yeah, and this is actually my brother's account. I actually didn't do this raid myself, but I was able to just kind of guide my brother through to just kind of tell him about the idea, how to run this idea, and then yeah, and then he actually executed very well. So I'm very happy for him. And the reason why I'm not using this strategy myself with my Huang Pi account is that I'm actually taking a little break from war because I just have been pretty swamped by a lot of things these days. And then yeah, and then as you guys know, the way I do war raids, usually I focus on precision, which means I do take quite a bit of time to do planning and stuff. And yeah, and then these days I just feel like it's a little bit overwhelming, and then I'm not so much able to keep up with everything I need to do and managing war raids and stuff. So yeah, so I'm just gonna take a little break and then we will just go from there. But anyways, going back to this video, I just wanna show you how this is different than the traditional GoWiHog strategy. So for those of you who are familiar with the GoWiHog strategy, you know that usually the idea is that you have golems and the wizard and hero groups to basically go for the one compartment and to take care of Archer Queen, take out Clan Castle, and hopefully step on set off a couple of giant bombs, and then you have the hogs clean the rest of the base with the support of a healing spell. But today, the variation that I'm gonna show you, that I actually saw it on internet, like one raid on internet, and then I instantly love it because that's exactly what I've been wanting to try. But I just want to know if people actually have been exploring this idea as well, and which it did, and then I'm very happy. And then finally get to, try a couple of these on the war raids. But anyways, so I'm just gonna walk you through the concept, and I will show you 3 different war raids using this type of approach. So traditionally with the GoWiHog strategy, like I said, we use yeah, like I mentioned earlier, you just use a golem wizard, take out one compartment, and usually you use about just 1 or 2 spells on the golem wizard group, and then the rest of the spells go for the hogs as they kind of just go through the base. But for this type of the strategy that I'm gonna show you, it's a little different because the emphasis is focused on sending the golems and the wizards to the middle compartment, and then you have the hogs to clean out the rest of the base without the support of healing spell. And then you actually, instead of just dropping every hogs and all the defensive buildings, you actually spread them out, just like what you would do, what you should do, or try to do in the lava loom strategy raid. So yes, instead of just talking through all this vague concept, I'm just gonna show you raids, and then you will see what I mean. So for this raid, my brothers are just kind of set out all the bomb spots. Like he actually knows where all the bombs are already, and then yeah, and then you just kind of like use some troops just to take out the first building, lure the Clan Castle, and set out all 4 bombs. I mean, obviously this is not the most well designed base out there because there are no connected giant bombs. But still, I think how he is able to pull this, I think is still pretty impressive. Just to see how this thing plays out. So over there, you send in 1 golem, of course, as a tank to attract the CC troops. But watch how he, instead of just dropping all the wizards at one spot, which I see a lot of people do when they are using this this way to take care of the Clan Castle. They usually just dump all the wizards just because somehow they kind of feel maybe just not sure if the wizards can do the job. But what I found instead is that instead of just dropping all the wizards at once, what you actually should do is just drop like maybe 3 or 4 of them, following the Clan Castle troops, and then the rest of the wizards you should still use them to, clean out other buildings, outside buildings, to make the path for the king and the queen. So yeah, that's just something out there I want to show you. So yeah, so over there, the first, and then now he's sending the second golem there. And then now, when the building is down, and he's sending all the heroes, and the heroes is gonna go for the Archer Queen, and then now the golems there are gonna go in for the middle compartment. So from here, so as you can see over there, you are not using spells on hogs, but watch how now everything's gonna play out. And this is, and then using the, and then knowing the strategy, you are actually taking the advantage of the fact that if you see over here, like the cannon and the archer tower here, they are actually being distracted attacking something else. So instead of, so you actually don't need that many hogs to take care of them when they are not looking at the hogs. So watch how we just drop like 2 of them each on these 2 defensive buildings. And now you drop 2 more on the wizard tower, and then and they see how while the hogs are attacking wizard tower, the archer tower there is shooting at them. So this is where you drop a little more hogs. I think it's up here, 2 more over there, and then see, and then you just send 2 more over there, cannon, and then see, watch the cannon is attacking the hog up there, and then now you have the 2 hogs is going for this cannon, and then see the archer tower is attacking the hog there, and now you have 2 more hogs going for the archer tower there. So go. So yeah, so they take out building with no problem, and then you just send in more hogs, do your 4 of them down there, and then you send in 2 up there, and then more over there, and just kind of lay them slowly instead of just dropping them all at once like how people do traditionally. And then watch how, even though there was no healing spell on the hogs, and then watch how they were still able to blaze through the buildings like it was okay, And then with this strategy, the most important thing that you want to really do is to make sure that your golem is keeping the exposed busy. And hopefully Barbarian King, sometimes you cannot get Barbarian King busy. I mean, for every type of raid, there's a certain risk to it. Like what I said before, is like there is no an absolute way to guarantee 100%. But there's usually, you call the decrease the variation factor, which increase the chance of 3-starring. And then I think this strategy, even though you might not able to reach the Barbarian King like that, but but then because as long as you have a very solid kind of troops to back you up, it doesn't matter if Barbarian King is kind of chasing behind Hog sometimes, and in the end everything works out. So I don't know if that even makes sense, but yeah. Anyways, that's the first raid I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna have 2 more raids I want to show you. So this is the second raid. Oh, and then one thing that I actually found for this particular strategy to work is that I found that the bases that tend to have more kind of spread out layout like this. You have very kind of somewhat independent archer tower, and then the cannon here, and then that doesn't overlap with expo, that kind of thing. I think these are actually a very important factor to look into when you want to try this strategy out, is that you cannot have too many overlapping minor defensive buildings together, something like that. So yeah, that's just something to share with you. So over there, so this raid, you started out with sending 2 golems there, and then you send in few wizards, and then you send an archer queen there. And actually, one thing that I wanna share with you guys is that this is one thing that I actually found nowadays when I run the GoWiHog stuff, is that don't drop. Actually, try not to drop all the wizards down at once. Because what happens there is that when you have too many wizards, when you drop them too early, then what happens is that your wizards are gonna clean out the buildings too fast, that they're actually gonna be running ahead of golem. And also when they see the CC coming out, and what they would do is they are gonna run in front of golem for sure. So to avoid your troops to run in front of the golem, what you can do instead is dropping them a little later, or just drop few of them first, and they will probably die. But then at least you secure a big group of wizards later on in the back. So, and that goes for Barbarian King as well. Because I remember before there were a few times when I tried to do the run the GoWi stuff, and then somehow I was like, how come the Barbarian King run in front of the Golem and then got killed by the Clan Castle so fast, you know? And that's why. So what you should do is you wait for the Clan Castle to come out, see, watch how now the Clan Castle, they're actually going for, because I dropped the King a little late, so then they're actually gonna go for Golem, while my King is making the way without getting damaged, and then see how now you just kind of follow up with the wizards in the back, and then that really help you secure a big group of wizards. So yeah, that's that. And same thing, you drop the healing and the raise spell, take care of the clan castle and stuff, and then now you have a jump spell there to just funnel your troops in. And now you see, so now instead of dropping all the hogs at once, you drop this. For this group in particular, you drop a little more hogs because this group of hogs need to go a little further than other group. But yeah, watch how there. It's a 2-2, and I believe that was a 5 to go for the cannon and the wizard tower, and then you drop it like 3. And I believe I was telling 4, but it doesn't matter. You know, 3 there, 2 there, you know, and then the hogs will also make their way to take out buildings one by one. And yeah. And then I think we kind of miscalculated that a little bit for the Tesla there, but it was still okay, you know. The rest of hogs to do the way, and because earlier on you have we preserve a lot of wizards earlier on, so that really helps out in cleanup time as well. Oh, and then one thing that I learned in the hard way for many times is that when you run like a GoWi stuff, it may be a good idea, GoWiHog stuff especially, it may be a good idea to reserve 1 or 2 wizards to just help clean out in the end. Because a lot of times is that if you don't do this, sometimes is that you will be able to clean out like most of the buildings, but in the end you run out of time to do the cleanup, you know. And then I don't think people love it when they see 99% on the screen. So yeah, I mean, I did learn that quite a few times from the fail rates, but overall, when you are able to kind of like, you know, save just even 1 wizard, let them go, you know, take out cleaning up in the end, it really saves a lot of time. Believe it or not, if you just can then go around 30 seconds, they can take out like so many buildings already, and that really helps in the end game. So yeah, so nowadays whenever I do raids, I make sure that if I don't do my Butterfinger drop, I will make sure I save 1 or 2 wizards to support. And really, if you really analyze your raid, watch how the GoWi raid goes down. Usually that you don't. It's pretty hard. Like when the wizards die, they pretty much die all together. They don't die one by one. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's why it is. Okay, and then the last one I'm gonna show you today, it's from this war. Oh wait, sorry. So this race started out with setting up of the giant bombs first, standard, and then yeah, take out the skeleton trap, and then once again, well, whether, and then sometimes people ask about if you should learn the CC, I will not. I think it depends, you know. I think if you want to learn CC, but you can take out 1 or 2 buildings with hogs, I say it might be a good, it might not be a bad idea to do it, you know. But then after, if you think about it, is that, you know, when you want to learn CC, usually it costs like 5 troop space or 10 troop space, and there's also time involved in terms of trying to lure the clan castle out to position them where it's favorable, and then that takes time as well. So there's definitely a trade-off. I mean, when you don't clean the clan castle, there's definitely an uncertainty factor that plays into this that might wreck the raid. But at the same time, when you lure out the clan castle, the trade-off is that you spend a little more troops to lure them out, and also take extra time to take them out before you do your actual raid. So it really depends on what you know, the base, and also what your style is. But yeah, just kind of throw it out there. So over there, he started out with dropping the golem as a tank, wizard to clear the way, and watchtower instead of just dumping troops in the middle, which people tend to do when they run a go just raids. People tend to just, okay, if I send in the golem, I'm just gonna follow with the wizards right away. Sometimes it's actually might be a better idea if you clean out the two sides first, because especially with this type of base, is that your golems and your other troops tend to run everywhere. And it gets ugly when they just run off course. But yeah, that's something else. But yeah, I think what I would have done there is I probably would have dropped maybe a hogs to help support taking out the outside building. But it's okay, everything still kind of worked out in this own way. But yeah, I think out of all the raids, I think this is a raid that was a little bit more like what is it? It's a little bit of out of control. I guess I will put that. Yeah, it's a little bit out of control, but still, it still works out the way it is. And then for that, then I think that kind of just shows that how powerful the strategy is, even though it's not the one that people see the most. And then I think it has a lot of potential. And then I think this type of strategy is perfect for the base like this, whereby the defensive buildings are quite scattered. Yeah, so just kind of enjoy, and then you see how like just kind of lay the hogs little by little, and in the end he kind of has too many hogs in one hand, and he has no idea what he's doing, and then he just kind of drop everything, and then just see how hogs just go through all the buildings one by one. And then I guess if you actually want to ask me about the pros and cons of the strategy, I would say that this strategy, it's a little less what is it? It's less threatened by giant bomb. Number one, because usually people have to use a healing spell because you have a big group of hogs, like 10 or 15 of them, hit giant bomb, and they have only little health left. And the second thing is, believe it or not, springs do a lot of damage to hog raids. So yeah, so when you were able to kind of when you are able to kind of like split the hogs up, it's less likely that they would hop on the springs, or they will hop on the springs with a minimal damage, minimal loss. Yeah, let's put it that way. So yeah, that should wrap up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned something new today.